Welcome to the Podski. What? Ooh, yeah.
You understand, baby?
Dig it?
Let me tell you another thing.
First name John, last name Baker. Uh-huh. Brother.
Hello and welcome to the Podski. I'm your host, the man of 1,000 gimmicks, John Baker, and we got Andretti back in here for a consecutive week. We are going to do something, basically a wrapped up version of what we did last week, kind of wrap up 2022, talk about some news and what's going on in wrestling to end the year, and then we're going to open up to give some 2023 predictions. So super excited about that. So welcome back for another week, Andretti.
Hey man, happy to be here as always. My pronouns are Stevie Ray and Tucker Knight.
What all did you watch last night or even today?
Right now I'm watching a Glory Pro show that had
Glory Hole Pro.
What's that?
Glory Hole Pro.
I mean, it kind of feels like that, but it was Nick Aldis and Davey Richards from I think a couple of weeks ago. That was pretty good. I was watching that today, but non-wrestling related. We jumped into Tulsa King last night, and we watched about 4 episodes of that. That show's pretty good, man. Have you ventured into that at all?
What's that? I haven't heard of that.
Okay, so it's the Sylvester Stallone show about him being a mobster in Tulsa.
What?
I think it's on Paramount.
I might have to check that one out.
But it's the same guy that did Yellowstone and the Yellowstone spinoffs.
Oh, okay. Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that guy. Like sometimes his writing's really good and really smart, and sometimes the writing's really bad. Like that guy can't write women characters, man. Like he's really good with Helen Mirren in the new one, the 1923. He's really good with her. And he's really good with Beth Dutton. It's the same. I don't know that woman's name. It's the same woman from the second season of True Detective.
Her name's Kelly.
Kelly Riley, is that right? Something like that. Something Irish.
Yeah.
But she. I mean, he's really good at writing those characters because they're men. I mean, he just writes them as men, and it works. But he's not good with the other female characters. But that Tulsa King is really good. Like I like it. I might even like it more than all the other Yellowstone stuff. And there's a scene in I think the 3rd episode of Tulsa King where it's Stallone riding in an SUV and he's high and he's talking to Guilfoyle from Silicon Valley. Is beside him, and it might seriously be the best scene Stallone's ever done in his career, for real. It's really great. And I don't know if I ever told you this, babe, but I met Stallone. I actually met Sylvester Stallone. So he, I ended up working at one of his daughter's track events. I think she was in like 8th or 9th grade, and I saw him standing there, and I was like, holy shit, that's Sylvester Stallone. And normally, obviously, I don't approach celebrities when I see them, but when I saw him, I walked over and I just started talking to him about Paradise Alley, which was this movie that came out in the 80s, which he wrote. And he was like, hey, this is a guy with really good taste. And that was he said that to his wife while we were standing there. And then he and I just stood there talking about Paradise Alley for a couple minutes. But I really like that movie because it's the first time I've ever seen a babyface turn heel throughout the course of a movie and a heel turn babyface throughout the course of the movie. So it's got this really cool like double flip, kind of like the Stone Cold Bret Hart match, the Iron Man match. But yeah, I mean that movie's great. But I thought that Tulsa King was a lot better than I expected, and it's really funny, and everybody's really good in it. And I was shocked, man. It's really a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
That well, typically what we like to do with like Yellowstone in particular, because I haven't seen any of the new season yet, but I love that show. I'm like absolutely hooked on it, but I like to wait until the season's over and then I can just binge watch them because I hate like waiting week to week to watch those shows. So
I can't stand it either.
Yeah, so basically what we're doing right now is waiting until that final episode comes out because I have them all recorded, and then I'm just going to blow right through them. But I didn't even get a chance to even watch the prequel, the 19, what was it, 29? Was that the first one?
The first one was 1885.
1885. Yeah,
Like
sorry.
yeah.
I get the years mixed up. And
Yeah.
I really want to watch that one. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, but too busy watching Casey Anthony. But
well, I mean, who isn't at this point?
But yeah, you can check that show out in the archives, the Casey Anthony documentary.
Yeah. I got something we got to do here before we jump into anything, Bacon. I've been scratching at the itch here to send it over to you, and I'm gonna put it in the chat right now. And I want you to see this for the first time live on the Podski here.
Okay.
I got you a little gift here, Baker. Click on that. See if you can open that.
I got it. Oh, let's go. All right, we will play this live on the air. This is a yearly tradition.
I can't hear it.
I'm getting ready to play it.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
All right, here we go.
We're live, baby. 3, 2, 1. Red light on. Old Metrics here. And I'm sitting here and I took my time and I read all this out. And this is from old Manser to Johnny Podcast. Johnny Podcast. It says, Johnny, you went and made your own podcast, the Podski. The damn Podski. And it says that you sat down and you tallied up a whole bunch of votes and you made your own end of the year awards, man. And you threw them all out to everybody. But old Manser didn't get one, you sack of shit, you son of a bitch, you dickhead. Johnny Podski, man. Oh, sorry, Johnny Podcast on the Podski made his award show and didn't give old Manser not damn one. That's fine. I don't need an award. Just give me a little bit of money and we'll work all this out. But anyways, it also says that you were shit-talking light beers and you were trashing Dub C Dub. Everybody knows old Manser loved Dub C Dub. Everybody in the world loved Dub C Dub besides like 5 people. And those are 5 people I got no respect for. I don't like them. I want to eye poke them. And I want to eye poke you on the Podski. But anyways, you sack of shit. You son of a bitch. You monster. But anyways, I just want to say thanks for letting old Manser go in here and do one of these old cameos, make a couple bucks. I'm going to spend it on light beers. But once again, at the end of the day, good luck on the podcast. You don't give me no award, so I hate you. That's fine. But, you know, good luck. Good luck with everything. I hope it all turns out well, but I'm still going to eye poke you when I see you at some point. You son of a bitch. Have a good one. Be safe. Don't get in too much trouble. But if you do, you can blame old Manser. Good luck with all the other awards out there you're going to give to whoever you're going to give them to. Have a good one. Good night. Be safe. I hate your guts. You son of a bitch. I poke God.
I love old Manser. And that was when, the true story, when we went through and did, as I was posting all of the stuff on Instagram, I realized that I never talked one single sentence about Mance Warner, and I was so upset with myself.
Yeah, he's the man.
Manser is going to be, Manser should have been right behind Dan Barry on the unsigned men's prospect. If not, should have won. Sorry, Dan.
I watched the MLW episode from last week because I couldn't get something else to play for some reason. So I was like, shit, I'll just watch MLW and go kill an hour. So I watched that, and he didn't have a match, but he had like a little segment with this like this lucha midget. They were in the woods trying to catch flies, and it was unbelievable, dude.
Okay, I need to figure out how to watch that. I need to get on. Like, I love Manser, and I need to. I feel like I need.
Free. MLW's free on YouTube.
Oh well, gee. All right. Well, then I'll check it out then.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm off tomorrow, and I don't go back to the Chowney until the new year.
But there's a couple shows that I think are free on either YouTube or Fight or whatever it is. But I mean those OVW shows are free every week on Fight. The reality of wrestling shows are free on, I think, YouTube and Fight, I believe. At least on YouTube. There's a show too that I think it might just be on the it might be on the IWTV subscription called Wrestling Open, and they run them out of Worcester, Mass, and that's like Dan Barry's in the tag team in Wrestling Open with this guy called 50 Cal, and this dude looks just unbelievable. He's got a mullet. He looks like shit. He's called 50 caliber because he's the highest caliber wrestler there is.
Oh my god!
And the dude's got like tie-dyed blue pants, and he's just doesn't look good. He's got like he rips his shirt off every match. It's fucking awesome. Like that, those shows are actually pretty good. Those Wrestling Open shows are pretty good, and they get a pretty good crowd for them too, man. For them having like a what appears to me to be like a weekly or a monthly show, they've got a hell of a lot of people that show up for those. So those are pretty fun to watch. But that whole IWTV the Internet Wrestling TV subscription I got is $10 a month. There's a million shows on there, dude. They update stuff every single day. It's definitely worth it. I think the website is independentwrestling.tv, and there's just an unbelievable amount of shows on there for sure.
Yeah, you always hear people talk about IWTV, but I just have never gotten into it just because I didn't really ever think to like do something like that.
Well, I was like, you know what? There's no reason why I have Grubhub Plus at this point when I never use it. So I can't with Grubhub Plus and signed up for IWTV.
That sounds like a great trade-off.
Yeah.
Until like you don't want to leave your house and then you want the Grubhub.
Yeah, and I tell you what, man, I saw a really awesome match. I put on Instagram about it, but like I saw a match from this promotion called Freelance Wrestling, which I've never heard of until recently. But it's on the IWTV. It's the show from December 16th, 2022, between the Bounty Hunter Brian Keith and Speedball Mike Bailey. And that match was just unbelievable, man. A really awesome match. Those guys were physical as hell. Really fun to watch those guys work. I mean, they're both really talented. I'm sure they'll both get put into a bigger promotion pretty soon and get signed pretty soon. Both of them are really good. But that show also had Mysterious Q, who we talked about on the awards show, who's the Reality of Wrestling champion. And he took on a guy called Robert Anthony, who I think might run Freelance Wrestling. And he seems like he's an older guy. He's probably like, I don't even know how old, maybe like 45, maybe early 40s to 45, somewhere around there. It seems like he's been around the business for a while. But that guy's really good too. Hey, he was awesome too. So being able to see him work with some younger guys was a lot of fun too. So those shows are pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, they sound fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of fun, I will be taking the trek to Chocolate Town tomorrow night, going to a live event for WWE because our illustrious co-pilot of That's So Dolphins Talk, Trey got us club seats because his mom has the ins in with her work. So we get in for Frizzle.
That's great.
So I'm pretty excited for that. I don't even know what the card is or anything.
I like that arena. Hershey Arena is pretty fun.
It is, yeah. I'm super excited because I'm assuming they're going to work towards something because they got Cena coming back on Friday night.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the show. I might just try to look up see if they got a card up here already. Because I didn't even think to
see what they're going to do going in with the house shows going into the Rumble.
Oh, here we go. We got a U.S. Championship steel cage match between Austin Theory and Seth frickin' Rollins.
Okay.
Bianca Belair. We're gonna have a triple threat between Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, and Bayley. And it just says more superstars included from Raw and SmackDown, including Matt Riddle, which can't be him because he's in rehab. Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, OCs, Judgment Day, Gargano, and thank the Lord, The Miz is listed in there.
Oh, that's always good.
So that actually sounds like a pretty good show. I'm actually kind of excited for that. I don't think I've ever seen.
So,
Austin...
is it a possibility Cody's going to be back by Rumble?
Oh yeah, I think he's coming back for Rumble.
Okay.
He was just on Raw. That was one of the things I did want to talk about. This Monday night was the best of 2022 show, and Cody had a whole segment on there where he was talking about I'm coming back to, get my revenge on Seth Rollins. So they're going to do Cody versus Seth one more time. And he's like, then I want to get to my ultimate goal, which is obviously the championship. So I think he's going to win the Rumble.
That's what I was going to say. Like, does he win the Rumble and then beat Reigns on night one, and then Reigns and Rock on night two?
I hope so. I hope that's what I heard was the plan. I hope that is the plan.
It would be nice to see Cody win that belt live.
Oh, that would be so sick. Because you know how much of a mark I am for him.
They need him in that company, man. Like, and I haven't always been the biggest Cody Rhodes fan, but like they need a new face, man, big time in that company.
They need a baby face in the worst way. And
He's
a
the
big
right
baby
guy for
face
it.
like him.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to real quick give my apologies to Kyrie Sane in case she's listening to this podcast. Kyrie, we know you're a big fan of the Podski, but I said in the award show that New Japan doesn't really have a women's division, but that's not right, and I totally missed it because Kyrie Sane is the inaugural women's champ from this past month, and I didn't even realize that was a thing. I didn't even hear about it, but she also should have been included in the best returns nominees category. I think she should have been in there too because she's super talented. It was a shame that she left WWE when she did, and she kind of left the industry for a little bit. But it's really great to see her back now and be the inaugural New Japan champ.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that she even left WWE, and then that she went back to New Japan. So, but yeah, definitely for sure she should have been on the list. There's a lot of people that I went and looked after as I'm posting them. I was like, damn, I really forgot this person, that person. Yeah. But that's why it's the award show. Not everyone can win the award. Sorry, old man, sir. But in other news, we got a big podcast that's coming out tomorrow. I don't know if you've already seen some of the some of the quotes that have already come out from it, but Dax from FTR is basically taking over what is William Regal's podcast, and they rebranded it for him, and his first topic that he's covering is on CM Punk and about like
what's it called?
FTR with Dax Harwood.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's coming out tomorrow, and they basically have you seen anything yet from it?
The only thing I saw was the pictures of him and Punk from that weekend whenever they got together to record.
Yeah, so like Punk isn't actually a guest. He's the topic.
Okay.
So they kind of got you on that one. But yeah, because I thought that CM Punk was going to be the guest, and then I realized that that's not exactly what it was. Like the topic of the show is CM Punk, like how they met and all that, and like kind of what happened backstage during the brawl out and all that deal. So like some of the quotes that he had said was, a lot of what the dirt sheet, basically what I don't have word for word, but essentially what he said is like not there are tidbits of truth in what you've seen in the dirt, but not all of that is true. And at least from his perspective, he wasn't there, but he said like people that were there that I know, and they have no reason to lie to me. Like, I understand you're going to get sides of every story, but not everything that you're reading is 100% true, which we all know. Everything lies in the middle somewhere. But at the end, I think he makes a plea to all four of them, like the Elite and Kenny and CM Punk, and said like, our business needs you four to figure it out and do business together.
Yes.
Which we 100% agree, which we talked about that last week too. So I'm really excited to give that a listen tomorrow. And
yeah, I'll check it out too.
He talks about a bunch of other stuff too. Like they talk about Bobby Fish and some other stuff. Naturally it's on Conrad's. Like it already dropped if you're an ad-free listener, but I'm not giving Conrad money, so
No.
But he's got a co-host, this Matt Coon, which if you listen to Tony, that's stupid Matt Coon. So yeah, no, I'm excited to check that one out at least, because I I like FTR, and I think they have a good perspective. Plus, like the insiders, man, they're going to give us the dirt we want, not the Meltzer dirt.
Hopefully it'll lead to a match, at least a trios match or an 8-man or something.
Yeah, for real. And then there was one other thing that at least I had on my list. Yesterday on Rhapsody or Grapsody or whatever that is that Tony Khan is on, they asked, they basically came out and were like, so is Sasha Banks gonna be Saraya's partner on January 4th? And he basically like hit the way his face looked like, duh, obviously. So
We'll see it.
we'll see what we see, but I'd be excited for that.
Yeah.
So, but you got any more news you want to? You got what else you got? You always got something cooking up over there.
I mean, look, man, I've been trying to catch up with work the last couple of days and been watching indie shows in the background and been catching up on a lot of that stuff. But like I said, I'm starting to find some really good independent wrestling where the production is good and where they've got consistently a decent crowd and they've got consistently like good performers showing up. So I kind of started making a subscription list on my YouTube, and I'm just going to start going through that basically every night because a lot of those promotions too, they'll post matches. They might not post the whole show all at once, but they'll post like match 1, match 2, match 3 from an event. So you can kind of go through it and either watch the full show if you can find it, or you can just watch the matches that you want to watch. So I've been having just a lot of fun with that and going through and watching some of the indie talent that we talked about last week and trying to find some more talent that I'm sure we'll talk about today a little bit. But it's been great, man. I'm really getting back into independent wrestling again, and it's something that it's everything is a cycle, right? Where I'll get really into watching Mid-South, right? And I'll watch nothing but Mid-South for 3 months. Then I'll get back into watching nothing but old Nitros for 3 months or whatever it is, right? But right now I'm really getting back into the indie stuff that I haven't really touched in a couple years. And COVID was a part of that, but I'm kind of getting back into it now with people running shows again, and there being, pretty much weekly shows around the country and around the world, and trying to find that stuff and just save it and bookmark it and things like that with the IWTV or with YouTube or whatever it is, and just trying to go in there and catch up. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had.
All right. Yeah. So we got another thing that we wanted to do last week's show was the big show with the Holiday Awards show and the Hall of Fame inductions, which the Hall of Fame was a lot of fun. I still can't believe that Billy inducted CG Paul Bearer and Ice Train, Maximum Sweat Kane. I can't believe those are in the Hall of Fame, but they're there forever, etched in stone, brother. But we wanted to do some predictions for next year because that's part of the fun that we have here is that we can pull a lot of stuff because we already got our categories made already. So I have 4 from our list here already, and then I have biggest surprise and I have hottest take. So those were some things I added. What about you? You want to go with some of your stuff first there?
Yeah, I did pretty much the same thing you did. So I just kind of wrote down some of the categories that we went through with the awards. And the first one I wrote down was like Fig of the Year. So I know some of those got some of the shots got released already, and some of them are up for pre-order right now. But I had a couple figures written down here that I think will be like early 2003 candidates for maybe figure of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I had obviously the Razor Ramon Ultimate looks really great.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean that's going to be probably a must get. I put down too the Andre the Giant chase in the teal jacket with the belt looks really great. So I think I might end up trying to find that at some point.
Well, that's Elite 100, so that one should be pretty easy to get. I feel like they're going to roll that thing out big time.
Yeah. I put Commander Z's basic. Looks pretty good. I mean, it's just going to be one of those figures that it's probably going to be the only one that guy's ever going to have made. And if I see it, it's going to be one of the ones where I'm going to end up having to get it because I'm trying to be a character completist as much as I can, where I get I get like every character. I don't get every figure for every set, nothing like that. But I'm trying to get like one figure for every person for every character that gets made. So I'm gonna have to get the Commander Z's at some point.
Yeah, I know that we're not big lover. I'm not a big lover of basics, but sometimes the basics are really good.
I think the women's basics are actually a lot better than the men's.
Yeah, I usually don't buy women's figures though. So you're a big women's wrestling follower. So you usually use a lot. You usually get a lot more of those than what I do.
Playing with too much She-Ra when I was a kid, man.
Yeah.
You know, when I used to go to preschool, the woman that ran the woman that ran the preschool, her daughter was a year younger than I was, and her daughter had all those She-Ra figures, and she had them locked in a closet. And me and this other dude would try to break into that closet every day to play with the She-Ra figures. We were successful more often than not, and we would get yelled at all the time for it.
But yeah, that going back to that Razor Ramon figure, they have the regular one and the Chase. The Chase is basically an upgrade from that Defining Moments, which is the one that I have already, but I'm gonna sell that Defining Moments and get I got the yellow trunks or the yellow jacket, red trunks one because I thought that one was sick. That is for sure. That's on my list for figure of the year. But yeah, I'm super. I already got that thing pre-ordered. I couldn't wait. I was getting that thing right away.
Yeah, I put down the Malachi Black Supreme. Looked pretty awesome too.
It looks really good. Yeah, I'm really excited for that one. I won't buy it, but it's a cool figure.
I have an Aleister Black Elite that I think is really awesome, so I'm probably just going to stick with that one.
Same. Yeah, I have one too. I have his last one in the company.
And I put down the Rhythm and Blues, Greg Valentine. I think it's Zombie Sailor. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Zombie Sailor for that one. I don't know if it is or not, but I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that one should be a good one. I want to say that is Zombie, but I'm not 100% sure.
Speaking of him though, like the Mr. Hughes looks awesome, the Roadkill looks awesome, and the One Man Gang is going to be awesome. So I'm looking forward to all three of them.
Yeah, he does. Zombie Sailor does a lot of good stuff. He just like their stuff takes forever to get here because I ordered the Danhausen, and I think I probably won't get that until like March or something like that, maybe sooner. I'm not sure. I know that they're like really really close to being in, but I ordered that thing like well over a year ago. But yeah, that for sure. All those little Hasbros and what Zombie does is great.
Yeah.
Do
you have any other figures that you were looking forward to?
I have a few. The one I'm really excited for is that Rock Ultimate, the Target exclusive, because the original Rock Ultimate was the Amazon exclusive that like literally nobody got that thing right, and when you did get it in package, it oh my gosh, like they didn't have the right pieces in there, they didn't have the right figure in there, and they were super hard to find. That's like $150 figure if you want to go back and buy that. So definitely gonna upgrade the Rock that I have with the Ultimate. And the other one that I'm really 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 excited about is the Bret Hart Target exclusive Ultimate. I'm super excited for that one because that is the pink jacket. It's like a remake of that ringside exclusive that they did a long time ago. So I'm excited for that one. I'm for sure getting that one. And I think that's going to be the first one with those the hip articulation, because they're going to add that to all the Ultimates this year. And I think that's the first one. That one should be like coming out they should be putting that up for pre-order like really, really soon. And another one, I pre-ordered the Shamrock from that Legend series. It hasn't come out yet, but I I'm excited for that Shamrock too, because I don't have the original one. So super excited about all three of those that I mentioned.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are good ones for sure. I think for me, another category, I got return of the year is gonna be The Rock at WrestleMania. I think like that is gonna be huge. And if they're gonna do what we think they're gonna do, which is they're gonna do Cody night 1, The Rock against Reigns on night 2. I feel like that's
it doesn't get any bigger than that, man.
I feel like they're throwing everything they possibly can at the wall. I mean, it's WrestleMania, you have to, but do you have was Return of the Year on your list?
I put I mean, The Rock is probably the number one that I would want to see, but I put CM Punk down for this one too, just because I'm hopeful that everybody's going to put their their stuff aside and get back in the ring. And because I mean, look, man, CM Punk had an unbelievable year. The guy's a world class talent. I mean, even whether he's hard to work with or he isn't. I mean, everybody's got to just understand that we're here to make money, right? in this industry. So hopefully they'll be able to make some money off of that and get him back in the ring. But I put there was an MLW guy that I almost put on my best unsigned talent list for the awards, and I didn't put him on there because of this. But the guy's name is Richard Holiday, and when I was watching MLW all the time, I thought that guy was getting better and better all the time. His in ring was always good, but on the mic, he was kind of getting better, with the promos and everything over the course of time. But I found out that guy in December got stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Oh, gee.
And I was like, holy shit! So I found a Sports Illustrated article from early December that was talking about it. And look, man, it's really horrible. I mean, he was kind of like a modern take on the $1 Million Man gimmick. If I had to compare him to somebody in today's times, it probably, I guess, would be that. But it was really good to see him do the kind of like opening vignette / little commercial on that MLW show from last week. So obviously the guy's going through treatment right now, and he's trying to get his health in order and stuff like that. But it was really good to see him do that with the thing from last week. But I mean, obviously, best of luck to that guy, man. I thought that guy would end up being a WWE or an AEW talent, sooner rather than later. Whenever I was watching MLW before, so hopefully everything will work out for him and he'll be able to beat it and everything and get back in the ring.
Yeah, best wishes to him for sure. Yeah, I think for the one that I did want to mention as somebody that would be best unsigned, I didn't really talk about him much, was Jack he was on the list, but Jack Tomlinson, we saw that guy at Long Island, and I think that guy will be really big this year. He for sure is somebody that could win over Dan the Man, and for sure Manser. Manser should be on that list. He did the spot in AEW already this year, so
I mean, I'm honestly surprised they didn't bring him in to fight Moxley whenever Moxley was champ.
Yeah, same. I'm really, really surprised as well, because that sounded like a dead ringer for Manser to come in and just do a gusher with him, and it would have worked fine. So I'm really surprised that they didn't do that. But you did mention CM Punk in the Elite for Return of the Year. I think I had that as my biggest surprise, as they're actually going to do it, because a lot of people are on this belief system that they're not going to do that, and my biggest surprise is I think that they will, and I think it's going to be phenomenal.
I think so. I hope so.
Well, yeah, we're all hope so for sure. But what else do you what other categories?
I had two, since we're kind of talking about this, with this one too. I had two names written down for unsigned men's talent that I think will have big years in 2023, and I put down Calvin Tankman. I don't know if you're familiar with that guy or not. He's a
Great
really
name.
He's enormous. He's a big dude. He's just an ugly looking guy, and I mean that in the best professional wrestler way possible. But he's like super physical. He's super athletic. I think he might be tag team champions in MLW right now with somebody. I can't remember who it is, but that's a dude that I think is going to really break out at some point and end up being a big player. So he's somebody to keep an eye out for. The other guy I wrote down was a guy named Ryan Clancy, who's been wrestling on those Wrestling Open shows that I've been watching. Younger guy, but just an unbelievable look. I mean, he's got his whole gimmick is that he's like a 1950s wrestler, right? Where he's got like, the trunks that are pulled up pretty high, no knee pads, no elbow pads, and he kind of does like the front flex where they put like their hands under their pecs, instead of on their hips. So he does that. But the guy's really athletic. He's fine on the mic, for right now. But I think that he'll end up having a really big 2023 and end up, getting a lot of traction on the indie scene. But Ryan Clancy, I think, is a guy that's got a really good future.
The Calvin Tankman, that is an awesome name.
Yeah, it is.
It's a really good name. What about Bud Heavy?
Dude, Bud Heavy's probably going to be one of my candidates for guilty pleasure of I mean, this dude, he the best way I can put this guy, I mean, the guy wrestles in Tampa Bay Pro, which is pretty good. Tampa Bay Pro is pretty good. It's pretty fun to watch. They got a guy in there named something Brown. What the hell is his first name? Alvin Brown, maybe Arthur Brown is pretty good. But they've got the Bud Heavy guy. The best way to describe him is he looks like Beer City Bruiser with a dyed blonde man bun and a pair of pants like the Fiend, but only one leg.
With the rider leg.
It's just like, I don't know what's going on here, man. I mean, it's really funny and it's great. It's fun to watch that guy, but he's going to be somebody that's going to be a guilty pleasure for sure.
That sounds so awesome. When you sent that today in the chat, I got super excited.
Yeah, they got a couple guys. Tampa Bay Pro is pretty good. They put on some pretty good shows. They got a decent crowd. Production's pretty good. So that's something to check out too if you want to check that out.
Oh, I was hoping that he had a whole gimmick revolving around Bud Heavies.
Well, kind of is, but Did you have anything? Did you have anybody for unsigned women that you think will have a big year?
I think that everyone that we had on our list already, I think that the sky's the limit for all of them. Shout out to all of those women. They were awesome on socials this weekend. But yeah, I absolutely think that sky's the limit for all of them. I think really the only one that probably won't be a part of that list next year is maybe Kylan King. I don't know. Maybe she gets signed.
I think she will. I watched. I was going to talk about this too, but I watched that. I watched a show from Coastal Championship Wrestling out of, I think, Hialeah, Florida, I think is where they run shows. And she was on there against Kelsey Reagan, actually. And that show was literally like last week. But look, man, Kylan King, since the last time you saw her on AEW, she's gotten more muscular. She's gotten more confident in the ring. I mean, she is TV ready right now, man. And she looks so good. She's such a great fit for AEW right now because that AEW women's division is so top heavy right now that they really don't have anything credible in like the mid card or the low card that don't just look like jobbers with everything they do. So Kylan King is somebody I think that they could throw in there right away and be a real threat in the mid card. But with the also on that show was Ashley D'Amboise was on that show too. And she wrestled a girl named La Brava, and who I had never really heard of before. But that match with her was really good, man. And look, those shows are on YouTube, and they're free. Those are free shows on YouTube. And Coastal Championship Wrestling has Bill Alfonso on commentary. If that's any more of some bait for you to check it out. But Ashley D'Amboise, man, look, she's strong, athletic, creative in the ring. She looks like a pro wrestler. She's still young in the business. Trains with QT, trains with Cody. Dude, she's going to be on a main roster probably by the end of 2023. And if not by the end of 2023, then probably 2024. But I think between her and Kylan King, and they were both on the same show. I think between the two of them, Ashley D'Amboise is more of a WWE talent. I really do think that she's more WWE, leaning that way. I would think. But Kylan King is an AEW talent, and I think that those are really good fits for the two of them. And I would not be at all shocked to find out that both of them got signed by the end of the year by both of those places, or each of those places rather. But I really hope they let D'Amboise keep the French Canadian stuff, because it's really cool. I like it when people have like a regional affiliation, right? And I know kind of Seth Rollins plays up the Iowa stuff a little bit, but with D'Amboise, I mean, she's got the Fleur de Lis on her gear, and she's from Quebec, or she's from Montreal, wherever she's from up there. That I think is really cool, and it's really special to see that kind of stuff. So I hope that they let her keep some of that.
Yeah, for sure. She definitely has a TV ready look as well. Like both of those women that you mentioned, I would not be surprised if either one of them are not on roster by the end of 2023 for sure.
And then the only other women I had written down were the Tongan twins in WoW, because they're huge, they're giants. First of all, for women's wrestling, they're really big and they're physical. I am baffled that those girls are not in NXT right now. I'm really shocked that they're not.
Yeah, I haven't checked them out yet, but I know that you have, and you love WoW wrestling, so I am for sure gonna like absolutely take you up on that one.
Well, look, man, I'm telling you, if you jump into WoW, it's just like we were talking about before. You've got to put yourself in the environment, right? Because it's kind of like a women's Lucha Underground in some capacity, right? Where again, a lot of the talent, they're not ready to be on TV, man, and some of them are ready to be on TV. So it's got kind of a mix of good and people that have some areas of opportunity, to put it nicely. But there's people in there that are going to be really good, man. That are really good prospects that you're going to see on major TV pretty soon.
Absolutely. And speaking of women, I have down here for best female. My prediction is that Sasha Banks is going to go on a hell of a run in AEW next year. That's my prediction for best female.
You think they're going to sign her full time, or you think she's just going to be a free agent that floats between New Japan and AEW and wherever else?
I don't know. I'd like to think that Tony will let her work, allow her to do whatever she wants, and they're going to give her a flexible schedule that WWE wouldn't give her. That's the only reason that I think that she's going to go to AEW and she's a good fit for AEW, is because she has a lot of outside stuff that she wants to do now, especially with like Mandalorian and all that and whatnot. She's in a million different things right now. So I think that her going to somewhere like AEW, it would be perfect for her, because she doesn't have to be there every week. And when she comes back, she can be the star. And that's why I think that she is a pretty much, personally for me, I think she's a dead ringer for AEW. And if she doesn't show up on that January 4th show and I look like an idiot, then that's fine. But yeah, I mean, there's too much smoke for this fire.
Yeah. I would say the only thing I worry about with that would be that she's a main event talent, and that AEW roster is already really top heavy. So who do you push down the card? You know what I mean?
Like, I feel like you got to clean out a lot of the lower bottom. I mean, I know.
I think so too, but you got to replace them with somebody, and you don't want to get rid of Red Velvet and
that's exactly what I was going to say. You don't want to get rid of Red Velvet.
Try to tell Britt Baker she's got to go wrestle Red Velvet's spot.
No, I think that
people got to lose matches. People have got to lose matches.
Oh yeah, no. I absolutely agree. I would probably, honestly, I think that they might get into the tag team deal next year.
I could see that.
Not that I want that to happen, but really, it's Jade can't be champion forever. So she's got to lose at some point. And I think whenever Jade loses, that's going to open up the women's division a little bit more. Because basically, you're feeding everybody in the mid card to her. The mid and lower card, she's getting fed, and then you're saving all your top talent for Dynamite, and they're just recycling over and over and over again, and at some point that's going to get stale.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who are your role players? Like, who are you going to put in there that can float between that and can be kind of the mid card talent? Because right now they really don't have mid card people that are good. And look, I'm not trying to be an asshole by saying that, but like
No,
I don't
yeah.
ever need to see Nyla Rose ever again.
Right.
And are you gonna make Sheeta and Riho mid carders? I mean,
I,
is that what we're doing? You know what I mean? Like there's so much talent at the top, especially with at some point Statlander's going to come back too. You're not going to
Mhm.
have Statlander eat pins for the next 3 years.
No.
So like there's a lot of people who are really good at the very top, and we're talking about Thunder Rosa coming back at some point. I mean, you've got like 10 main event women who could legitimately be the champ, but then you've got underneath them, you've got like one or two people that are worth a shit, and all the rest of them are people that can probably go find work elsewhere. You got to bring people in that are going to fill those spots, and I don't know if they've done a very good job developing the women's roster from top to bottom. Now, again, they've got really good talent at the top. I don't think they've got really good mid card and low card talent.
No. So I think that they are in the same boat as WWE right now, because WWE women's division, it's very top heavy, and everyone under the top is just not good.
They've got a lot of the thing that helps WWE is that all those women in NXT are going to be very good prospects.
Oh yes, that's the only thing, is that everybody that's on the main roster now has been there and they're established and they've been there. And now, yeah, they did inject some new people, like Dakota Kai and them. So like they got some youth injection this year, but
Tegan Knox they just brought back too.
Yeah. And so they did get some youth injection, but you still got Beck, you still got your heavy hitters in there. But yeah, I have to agree that AEW is really top heavy there, and they don't get they don't get enough time. Secondly, they don't get booked right. Thirdly, when they do get booked, they get stuck in the dead zone of a card, and then we end up hating it, and it's just a vicious cycle that we go through with AEW women's division.
Yeah. I think they're just going to have a problem where they've got too many cooks in the kitchen, man. And I don't know who ends up being the person that gets left out in the cold with that. And it ain't going to be Britt Baker.
No.
And maybe it'll be Tony Storm. I don't know, but like they've got to figure out something where they can kind of clean house a little bit and bring in people that are really good in the ring, that are prospects that could legitimately be main event talent down the road. And that's where somebody like a Kylan King, I think, would be really helpful for them.
Yeah, I agree. But
did you I put down too I had a category here for women's breakout star, and that was kind of just like people that were kind of already on the rosters.
Mhm.
The NXT or the WWE AEW roster that I thought might have a really big 2023. Did you have anybody that you kind of thought were those kind of people?
I don't have anything written down, but I can't really think right off the top of my head. Right now, no, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head who I can think would do that, other than somebody like Statlander, but she's got to get healthy and she's got to be there.
Yeah.
Who do you have?
I put Cora Jade for that category, and I put down too was Blair Davenport. B Priestley. I don't know if she's still trying to get back from the injury or what happened, but I think she'll be somebody that'll have a really big 2023 if she's back.
Yeah, we talked about her a couple weeks ago in the State of the AEW roster show. Yeah, I just one of those things. She just was there, and then she was in AEW, then she went to WWE, and then haven't heard anything for a long time about her.
There's two girls in NXT that seem like they keep getting better every week, and it's this girl Saul Rucka, whatever her name is, that is like a gymnast that's got a really great look, and she's super athletic. She'll probably end up having a really big year. But there's also somebody in there named Kiana James that I was not at all interested in whenever I first started watching NXT again. But now she's kind of grown on me a little bit. She seems like she's getting a lot better in the ring. So I think she'll end up having a big 2023 too.
Yeah, I would agree too. I always hear Alvarez talking about her. But another category I got here is best male. So, personally, I mean, I already kind of killed this earlier. I said my vote for prediction for next year is best male is CM Punk, and that's only contingent on if he does come back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've already talked about it ad nauseum. I'm thinking when he's there, you can't. Who's better? Who better? In the words of Canyon. But I don't. If he's not there, then obviously it can't be him. So, if it's not him, I'm gonna probably say. I don't know. I don't want to be a mark, but for Moxley or Roman or anything like that. But I think that somebody like Ricky Starks could really elevate themselves to a main event talent. Just because his mic work has been phenomenal, and he just did the match with MJF, and now he's got the match tonight with Jericho. So, like, the kid's getting the rocket strap. So let's see how far he goes.
I put Cody for that because I think Cody will end up winning the Rumble. I'm pretty hopeful that he's going to end up winning a major title at WrestleMania. So I think that for kind of having a really big 2023, I think Cody Rhodes is probably going to be my pick for that.
So I was going to put Cody in for best male, but I have a two. So I'll wait to get to that one. But I wanted to put Cody Rhodes here, but I have him in another spot.
Yeah.
Do you want to get to that spot since that is our biggest award of the year? Or do you have any?
Yeah, sure.
You want to get to the biggest one?
Yeah.
All right. So obviously, like we had mentioned on the pod last week, that the MVP or the most valuable person, that's our biggest award of the year. So, for my prediction for that is going to be Cody Rhodes, because I think that if he comes back at the Rumble, which all signs are leading towards that, and then that moment that we're going to get at WrestleMania, if he does win that title, like that's going to be like maybe one of the most important moments in recent memory at a WrestleMania. Like that is going to be up there with the Daniel Bryan Yeselmania. Like we haven't had a moment since then like that. So I feel like that it could top Yeselmania. And I wanted to put I have a honorable mention for MVP, and I have my honorable mention for MVP is Jeff Jarrett in AEW, because not only as a in-ring talent, but I think from what they've been saying with what JR said on his podcast last week, that AEW is going to get into the house show game this year. And apparently that's what Jeff Jarrett was brought in for, is to get the house show game up and running. And, that's what we have been saying here for a couple weeks, is that AEW needs a house show business. They need something like that to get people to wrestle more often, because that's what's holding the roster back. So, that's why I have, Double J Jeff Jarrett as a honorable mention to MVP, because I feel like if you get it up and running and it's good and it's successful, then that can be something that's going to save AEW in the long run.
Yeah, I put Triple H for that one. And I put him because I really do feel like that WWE is going to have a pretty big year in 2023. And he's been in charge long enough now that I think we're going to start to see it really kind of transition pretty shortly here. And I think that by the end of 2023, we're all going to be back on board with the WWE. I'm hopeful for it.
Yeah, so that was going to be a part of my hottest take, which was going to be my final thing that I was going to add here. I think that Triple H, like this is going to be the last cycle of the Vince McMahonisms. And then I think in 2023, we are going full force, full bore into the Triple H era of WWE. And we're going to all look back and say, like Triple H was the fucking guy. Like, because I think we're all going to go back to WWE.
Probably. I hope so, man. I hope it's good. I hope that they can get it together and get everybody back on board, because we need the WWE to be awesome.
Right. And I want them to be awesome. I'm not saying that they don't do good stuff already, but there's some clear like things that like I don't like, in the same way that it is with AEW. Like I'm not gonna like everything, but when WWE is at their best and they're at the tippy top, like then everybody else is doing good. So, but yeah, I absolutely 100% agree that Triple H could be a big he's we already know, we've already talked ad nauseum on this podcast about how I'm the biggest mark for Triple H. So whatever he does, I'm gonna love, but that dude, he is coming for blood because he got embarrassed once by Tony. He's not gonna get embarrassed twice. And he's got a lot bigger paycheck to play with now. So I would be hard pressed to say that, 2023 is this might be the biggest year in wrestling, like in terms of like setting up the future.
Yeah.
Because we always talk about like how like 19 was so important, and then but like this year, like 2023, AEW is working for a TV deal. WWE, like they're working to, get mainstream again. So they want to go, ultra mainstream. So I don't know. Hopefully they do that, and AEW gets a really good TV deal. They got the rebrand coming up next week, which I'm really excited to see what their rebrand looks like. And I know that they just signed a guy that was right under Kevin Dunn from production. So, and even when you look at the new rebrand of Dynamite, it kind of looks like Raw a little bit. Not I don't hate that, but I mean, so I'm excited to see a new modernized look for Dynamite. I'm always up for new stage design and all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But did you have any other takes? You got a hottest take or anything like that for next year?
I mean, I had men's breakout star that's already kind of on the roster, and for that I put down hopefully Damian Priest, man, can get away from that stupid faction that I fucking can't stand. Hopefully they'll get him out of there and have him start whooping some ass, because that guy's awesome.
Yeah,
and the only other name I had for that was Carmelo Hayes. I think Carmelo Hayes have a really big 2023. Now whether that ends up being him being NXT champion where they pull him straight to the main roster, I think that guy is damn close to being ready for either one of them.
Yeah, Carmelo Hayes is awesome. I absolutely hate Judgment Day. I hate Dominic Mysterio. He is a talk about guys you don't even need to see ever again.
I don't care. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, dude, every time I see you, I just see Eric Watts, and I don't want to see it. Like, I just don't. I don't know. I don't see the future in that guy that apparently other people do. So whatever.
I don't think he's gonna last. He can't. He's not good.
I don't know.
And the way that they keep playing up like this Eddie Guerrero BS, like they've gone too far. They've already lost me a long time ago.
I would have put him under Hood in NXT and had him never say a word on TV until he got really good in the ring, and had him feud with like Santos Escobar and do lucha matches and stuff like that, and get him over as a babyface with the crowd, because he can't work and he can't talk. So what are we doing with this guy? If we think he's going to be a future player in the Intercontinental Division or the U.S. heavyweight or whatever it's going to be, because he sure as hell is never going to be world champ. Mm-hmm. But if you think he's going to be a player for one of those lower belts, then you got to put him in a position where he's going to be successful. And I don't think they did a good job of doing that. But I also don't think he has the talent to justify even getting the opportunity. And I'm sorry, Ray. Sorry, I'm talking shit on your kid, but that's the way I see it.
I think that they threw him out there during the pandemic, and they were really hoping for something big, and he showed some promise early, but then like I don't know what the hell has gone on here, but I just don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you got any
did I send you that picture of Carmelo Hayes from last night?
No.
So I threw on a random show last night from Fight. It was like was it Chaotic Wrestling or something like that, from like 2017, I think. And I look up at the screen, like I'm like screwing around on my phone, and I look up at the screen and I'm like, holy shit, that's Carmelo Hayes. So I was really shocked to see that. But But yeah, I think that guy will have a big year.
Yeah, he definitely looks like he's gonna have a big year for sure.
I'm trying to think what else I've got. What else I have written down here. I had I had commentator of the year, which I think will end up being Ian Riccaboni. Once they figure out this Ring of Honor stuff, and get him on a weekly show or whatever it ends up being, I think he'll end up being commentator of the year for 2023.
I like that. I like that. Big friend of the show, Ian Riccaboni,
Sure.
and great cameo guy.
Yeah.
Uh,
I had manager or valet of the year, and I put Stokely with Ethan Page. I hope that goes someplace.
Same. I hope it goes somewhere too.
For weekly show, I put Raw because I think by the end of the year, I think Raw is going to be really good.
I would love Raw to be good. I'm always a big Raw guy, but to make 3 hours good, you gotta like pull some strings and go through some hoops to make that work.
Trying to see what else I have.
I think guilty pleasure might be Big Bill.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I noticed too that I don't think Dijak is on the WWE Superstars page, on the roster page.
Really?
Yeah, which is kind of strange.
We need T-Bar.
Yeah. But I put for pay-per-view or PLE of the year, I put Mania.
Oh yeah, I already had Mania etched in there. I think this WrestleMania, not only because we're going to it, but I think that I think it is going to be a monster show. Like we're going to get, if this is going to work out the way that we think, like we're going to get Cody and Roman night 1. We're going to get Rock and Roman night 2. We're going to get Money in the Bank because they already said that is going to be that is going to be at WrestleMania. We're going to get Stone Cold. We're going to get John Cena. Like, how much bigger of a WrestleMania? Like, that's big. What are they going to do next year for 40 that's bigger than that?
I don't know, man.
They're gonna have to dig deep in the bag next year to make 40 big.
It's gonna have to be Hogan and Sheik.
Bring back the gimmick battle royal.
Can we get the Iron Sheik in shape in 2 years for 2 years?
Oh yeah. He break your back, make you humble.
The only other category I had written down was who I foresaw being the tag team of the year. I think it'll be FTR. I think that FTR by the end of the year will have the AEW titles.
I hope so.
And I put down too that I think the Gun Club is going to have a really big year.
Oh yeah.
Those guys keep getting better all the time, man. They really do. And I put Everrise on there too. Because I don't even know what the hell their name is in AEW, but Angelo Parker and Daddy Magic, I think, are pretty
2.0.
awesome. Yeah. Those guys are really good. So I'm hoping that they have a big year. And I'm also hopeful. I'm hopeful for the War Raiders too, man. Hopefully we can get the War Raiders, going and have them be a relevant tag team and be the ass kickers that we all know they can be.
All those tag teams that you listed are all awesome. I love all those tag teams. I really think the Gun Club can really break out next year and really do something big in that division. And I absolutely hope that FTR has those belts by the end of the year or at some point in the year, because good Lord, if they don't, man, what a swing and a miss that they're doing in the booking.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got anything else before we hit the dusty trail?
I mean, that's the only stuff I had down for the categories for kind of projecting what next year's going to look like. And I did write down a couple other things too here about I kind of wanted to see what your takes were on some of these guys. Look, I didn't even really plan anything for this. I just wrote down a bunch of names when I looked at the rosters last night. But kind of like, what would you do with kind of category, right? Okay. So, for 2023, what would you do with the Usos?
So the Usos, they've been the longest reigning tag team in the company history. So I think that they probably have to lose the belts. They don't, clearly they're going to do a breakup thing too. So even that might even be a WrestleMania match where it's going to be Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos. I think that could be something that could be done, and I think that would really work really well, especially because of the way that how fantastic Sammy has been in the bloodline. But that's what I would do. I'd break that. I'd break not break up the team, but I'd break up the bloodline with Sammy leaving, but then having the Usos drop those belts to them.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. The only thing I could think of with that was that there's really not a tag team there that I think is in a position to beat them. And
No,
unless there's like internal fighting between the two of them, right?
right.
So the only team I could think of that was even on the radar that could maybe beat them by the end of the year, unless you did something storyline wise, like you were just saying, would be pretty deadly. And I don't even know if those guys are ready for that.
Yeah,
I don't think they're ready for that.
no, I agree. Yeah. What's give me more of these. I like this.
Stone Cold.
Oh, you put Stone Cold on WrestleMania. You have him do a big match. It's got to be, but you have to let Steve be Steve. He's got to do all the stuff that Steve does. There's no shortcuts this time. There's no like, oh, he's gonna, he's gonna do a match, but we're not calling it a match. Like, no, if you're gonna do it, you gotta fucking do it. So
But who do you put him with? I was having trouble thinking about that today whenever I was kind of going over it a little bit.
um hmm
Now the guys that I thought would be really good for him to work with. Now I don't know if any of these guys are big enough names, which sucks because they're all super good. I would like to see him do something with Bobby Roode
yeah.
or Ziggler.
Well, but we can't. Rude got neck surgery, I think.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that. Okay. I mean Ziggler would be a hell of a guy to throw in there with him.
Ziggler, you get a good match with Ziggler, but I think Ziggler's name is too diminished now. Like he's just been, you know what I mean? Like I love Dolph Ziggler. I absolutely love Dolph Ziggler. One of the biggest booking whiffs that they ever did was not put that title on that guy back there a few years ago.
I know.
I was
Maybe
thinking,
Rollins?
huh?
Maybe Rollins?
Well, that's what I was gonna say because I was gonna say somebody like Rollins or maybe Sheamus or something like that. Like have the brutes like. Could you imagine like brawling like Steve Austin coming out with double knee braces and just stomping a mud hole and then progressively walking it dry on the brawling brutes? Like, I think I'd like that. I'd like and in the run that Sheamus is on, he could get you a good match out of him.
I'm just worried that it won't be physical enough because of Austin.
Yeah.
Sheamus's matches right now are like ass kicker matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Putting Rollins in that position would be phenomenal.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's a really good call. But yeah, if you're gonna do it, you got to do it big this time, and you got to do it right.
How about Ronda Rousey?
Can she go back to farming?
Yeah, no shit, right?
I don't hate Rousey. That was a sizzler that I just landed on her there. I don't know. What do you do to make a big match out of her unless you put her? I know you don't do that. You've already done that too many times.
I think you've got to put somebody over, make her, just.
She's got to put somebody over big, but I don't know.
And then that should be it. Like just build her up and feed her. I don't know who. I don't know who it is. I don't know if it. I don't even want to guess a name, but
maybe you put Bailey's group against her.
Okay.
And then you work towards Bailey Rousey.
I mean, I'd be okay with that.
I mean, I'm just throwing stuff at the wall here.
Yeah, I think that's actually a pretty good idea. I mean, and then look, you cut ties after that. I mean, you build her up, and then she puts somebody over, and then we're done here.
No, she goes flat out on her back, then moves on to the town.
Yeah. How about Lashley?
I don't know. I think you have to put him in a group. But
and they blew it with the
Hurt Business,
whatever they were called.
Hurt Locker.
whatever. Those guys were awesome, dude. I don't know why they fucked that up. That was a really good group.
I think that they could rebuild that, but you put like Carmelo Hayes and you put Lashley, because Lashley isn't that great of a talker, but you put somebody like that's how you bring Carmelo Hayes in, is you bring him in with like Lashley, and then you put somebody else with him too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he's got to be a heel. I like Lashley better as a heel.
Yeah, I would agree as well. Yes.
Next one here, I've got. What about Gunther?
Oh, uh, put him in line to face Cody.
Yeah.
Make him the big heel. Every babyface needs a big heel. Why not? Why? I mean, Gunther would be perfect.
And Cody was selling his ass off for that guy too.
Yeah, I love Gunther. And think about the odds that Cody overcomes the odds of beating Reigns, and then his first person he has to tackle is Gunther.
I was thinking, keep that belt, keep the Intercontinental belt on him until you're ready to give him a main event world championship push.
Yeah, I think that somebody like Gunther would be one of those guys that lasts a long time.
Don't even
Rumble.
lose the belt. Have him do something like Austin did, where he just drops the belt.
Yeah, that could be done too. I like that idea.
I was thinking too, like, what if they? And I know this is kind of out of their wheelhouse, but maybe things will change a little bit with Triple H. But like, what if they just started bringing people in to feed Gunther, like Ishii or Suzuki, or the Great Muta is on his farewell tour. I mean, why not bring in these people to feed him over the course of the next year, where you're not having to recycle your own talent to get their ass kicked to that guy. Let him be an international superstar and just beat all these people from all over the place.
That would be cool. I like that idea. What I think they should really do with Gunther is bring Ilya up and then have redo that UK thing and do it on the main roster.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing them bring Timothy Thatcher back to fight with him for a program for a couple months.
Yeah, I think you go a lot of ways with him. I really like Gunther. I love Gunther so much, man.
He's awesome. But I think you gotta keep him strong and keep him undefeated and keep him the champ until it's time to make him the villain for somebody.
Yeah, and I hate that we don't call him Walter anymore. But Gunther ended up kind of working out.
Yeah.
In Vince's infinite wisdom.
Yeah. Next one I had here was MJF. What do you do with MJF?
Let him run roughshod for as long as possible, and then you gotta. But here's the thing. Here's my. Okay, this is the issue with having MJF as the champion. You have to have a big time baby face to overcome the odds. And I would have assumed that would have been CM Punk. And I don't know if CM Punk is going to be the babyface anymore. I don't know. It depends. If I would say if CM Punk comes back, you just keep letting MJF be a dastardly heel, and you got to have CM Punk work his way back into winning over the people, and then when he's getting close or whatever, then you just boom, and you do it, and that's how you get the belt off MJF. But how long
can you keep Wardlow distracted?
Huh?
How long can you keep Wardlow distracted before you have to have that match?
That's the problem. They don't have
Wardlow beat the fuck out of him at that pay-per-view.
That would be awesome. Is Wardlow ready for the belt though? No. But
which means you've got to keep Wardlow on in a major program to distract him from not chasing MJF, who he clearly would annihilate.
Yes. So yeah, you gotta. Yeah, that's very valid, because yes, that's how we remember all that happening, is that Wardlow beat the absolute piss out of that guy. Maybe you don't even need an Uber babyface to do it. Maybe you just have the next person in line, which I don't even know who that would be. Maybe you put him in there with Kenny, like once the Elite and all that are done with their trios run, maybe Danielson. Maybe you have somebody like Danielson in there, and Wardlow costs MJF the title, and then they do their big feud again. I don't know. I don't, because like Danielson, like he's getting ready to start his 3rd year, and he signed a 3-year deal, if I'm not mistaken. So his deal will be up next year too.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell show just started randomly playing on Fight, but this dude just came out to the ring, and he's got really big legs, and he's called the Quad Father.
Oh my god.
Kamaro Jackson. I have no idea who this guy is, but he looks like an ass kicker.
Put the Quad Father on the predictions of best unsigned talent.
The other guy, I don't know who the hell he's wrestling, but the other guy had a jacket on that said Oklahoma as all hell.
Put the Quad Father in the guilty pleasures of the year.
Yeah.
With Big Bill and Bud Heavy.
Jesus. The next ones I had, Darby and Sting. What do you do with Darby and Sting?
I think it's time to do the match.
You think?
I mean, what else do they need to do?
He's been they've kind of gone a little stale with Darby.
Well, that's just because he took time off, which he desperately needed. But I think it's time to do the match.
But you teased the breakup for a while, right?
Oh yeah, you got to do that over time. Like if you're gonna do it this year, you got to start it now.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that.
You got anybody else?
Yeah, I had John Silver.
Get him away from Dark Order as far away as possible with Reynolds, and just let them be the Beaver Boys.
I think John Silver needs to leave and go to the WWE, because I think he's a WWE talent.
Yes. I actually agree with that better than my own opinion. He's
so good, dude. I mean,
he would be perfect in NXT, man. He would be so good at NXT.
Guy's awesome. It's a shame they haven't done more with him yet.
Yeah, it is.
Next one I had Archer and Luchasaurus. These are two guys that are a little bit similar. Is it time to put them into a tag team and give them a manager?
Ooh. Well, as long as it's not Jake.
No.
Archer, I mean, I don't really care about Archer. He's just kind of whatever. I was really excited when he came in because I really liked him in New Japan. It's kind of whatever. Whenever Archer's coming in, he's eating an L. So, Luchasaurus.
But couldn't you brand them as something and give them a manager and make them the ass kicker heel tag team?
You could. The only problem is that you have a guy that's a dinosaur, and the other guy is a murder hawk monster.
He's kind of a dinosaur too. He's been wrestling for 30 years. I mean, Lance Archer was like a 3-year veteran in fucking TNA.
Yeah. I don't know what you do with them.
I don't know either. My only idea was throw them together into a tag team and let them be upper mid card heel tag team. Everybody's got to blow through.
Sure.
Next one I had was Sheeta.
I'm gonna give a hot take here. I think Sheeta should beat Jade for that belt.
Okay.
And then that way, she's a former world champion. Then she wins the TBS championship. Jade can move on to bigger and better things, which would obviously be the world championship and eating pins. And she's not a Cinderella slipper anymore. She's not protected anymore by that. So she can do her own thing, and she can win, she can lose. And I think that I don't know. I feel like that makes sense.
I think that's a really good idea. That's better than my idea. My idea was to just get rid of her and let her go work somewhere else and keep her name strong and go work someplace else and then show back up in WWE or even AEW down the line.
Yeah, I mean, down the line, she could be really good in WWE, I think. Then I don't know.
I feel like her time is just up in AEW. You know, I mean, she's
I
losing
feel like
a lot of people. I mean, it's like it's time to probably go somewhere else.
that's kind of why I said like she would have if you're gonna keep her around, like she would have to do something big like beat Jade. But I don't know.
Next one, I've got Edge.
Um, what is he even doing now?
Dude, who fucking cares?
Is he hurt?
I don't fucking know, dude. I mean, why is
You're an Edge hater. I love Edge.
I didn't hate him. I didn't hate him before. Now I don't care anymore. And it's like
you're an Edge hater. It's okay to admit it.
he's just back for nothing. It's I mean, look, man, the guy came back, and I don't think he did anything at all to help his case to get into the Hall of Fame, right? The Observer Hall of Fame, at least. I mean, has he done anything to help his case since he came back?
I mean, he got hurt, so I'd say no, but I can't say yes to that yet. No, I mean they had a good match at that WrestleMania, that triple threat, but
they're going to end up
that
signing him to AEW. Is what's going to happen. He's going to end up getting signed to AEW, and he's going to come in, and we're all going to act like we give a fuck, and no one's going to give a fuck.
If they retread the tires on a Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Boys, son.
I mean,
I would be.
The Young Bucks are going to push for that.
Fucking right, they would. Why wouldn't they? Edge can still go. Christian
you don't think the Young Bucks are going to try to beat Christian and Edge?
Huh?
Young Bucks are absolutely going to try to get Edge in there to beat him and Christian.
Why wouldn't they? They want to be the best tag team of all time. They can't help themselves.
Why don't we get the Road Warriors out of the grave and beat them too while we're at it?
Dude, listen, they were already going to retread the tires on the Hardys and the Young Bucks. And listen, Jeff is getting close to coming back. Matt can't move. Matt's legs are fucking stiffer than
why is Jeff coming back?
Why isn't he coming back though? I love Jeff. Jeff, who cares?
Oh my God.
Jeff has gas in the tank. Matt doesn't.
He doesn't have any. He has no gas in the tank.
There's fumes. There's something in there. Let's do it. Let's go.
Alcohol related is what's in that tank.
Listen, I am very much on board. If they want to bring in Edge and they want to redo Edge and Christian, Kamaro
Jackson just leaned the other guy up against the railing and wound up with his left hand and then slapped him with his right hand. I don't know what the fuck is going on in this show, but it's pretty great.
I hope that, dude, I would love it so much if Edge and Christian were back, and you can be a little Edge hater all you want, but you'll be popping. You will be standing in your living room naked because Edge and Christian are out on the mic doing a 5-second pose.
Here's what's going to happen. We're going to be watching Dynamite, and out of nowhere, you're going to hear, "You think you know me?" And then all it's going to be is me being that SpongeBob meme. I ate my head out, and I'm just going to fucking turn the TV off, dude, and leave. And I'm gonna turn the TV off, and the next thing you're going to see is Justin Andretti has left the chat. So I quit. I'm done. I quit.
No, I love it. I want give me all your Edge and all your Christian in AEW.
All right, the next one I had here was Otis.
Put a belt on him.
Okay.
I don't care what belt it is. Actually, you know what? I sent Otis to NXT and let him be a big brawling bastard down there and then have him come back up.
Yeah, I can see that. I like the idea of bringing back Tucker Knight and reforming Heavy Machinery and making them the NXT Tag Team Champions.
Okay, yeah, and I'm definitely on board with that. I love Otis. I love Heavy Machinery. Yeah, let's do that. I'm down for that.
What about Otis and Silver?
Ooh. That would be
How funny would that be,
awesome.
dude?
See, what they need to do is they need to get Gable and Otis away from each other, and they need to make Gable like fucking awesome because he
Yeah.
is awesome, and he needs to be like a killer. Like he could be like a Kurt Angle type guy, but it's too that might it might be too late for that. But
Well, they got to start. They got to start doing it slowly, and you can't. He ain't you're not getting any traction by being in a tag team with Otis.
no, and they waited too long, and they picked the wrong guy with Jason Jordan, and a long time ago.
You didn't like
and all
that? You didn't like American Alpha?
No, I loved American Alpha. I just hated Jason Jordan. I hated that whole angle. That he
Yeah.
was Kurt Angle's illegitimate son. That was stupid. That made no sense. Why wasn't it Chad Gable?
Yeah. I don't
Like,
know.
talk about the biggest fart in church
This
that
is
you could have
Vince.
ripped.
That's Vince McMahon.
Like, what? No, they like Jason Jordan didn't need that. He didn't need the validation of being Kurt Angle's illegitimate son. Like,
Yeah.
Chad Gable needed the Kurt Angle stamp of approval. Jason Jordan was going to be a star without him. Now he's on a bad stack of dimes, but
Yeah.
to quote the very famous Steve Austin.
The last one I had here was Nick Aldis.
I don't. Ooh. So I don't think that he's going to go to WWE. I think that. Well, okay, I could see him in WWE. I don't know how he would be used in WWE, and I don't think he wants that
he'd be an
sketch.
excellent Intercontinental Champion.
He would be an excellent Intercontinental Champion. But I think it's too late for him to get into AEW either.
Kind of missed the boat.
Here's what I will say. If you want to throw something really cool and really big at Cody, Nick Aldis would be a really cool deal.
Yeah.
That would be a really cool deal. Like a Monday after Mania type thing. Cody's out there like doing his big acceptance speech as your champion, the big baby face promo, and the confetti's falling, and then all of a sudden Nick Aldis shows up.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Dude, I just painted a great picture in my head. Give me the book.
That's all I had for those. Do you have any other names?
No, I don't. You picked a lot of names I wasn't thinking about. No, that was awesome.
The next thing I had was just resolutions for next year. So kind of like what are you hoping? I mean, what are your wrestling resolutions for next year? So I had my number one was to give WWE a shot. Like I said, Triple H has been in charge for a minute now. I hear SmackDown is really good. You guys have been saying SmackDown's good. I'll give it a real shot. But with me with the WWF, man, it always feels like it's too glossy, and I never feel like I get enough of what I want from them. And I always feel like it's like too safe and feels really fake in the WWE. And look, man, I get it. They want to protect their talent. I understand all that stuff, but for me, it's really not. It's just not. It's not enough. But I'm willing to give it a shot.
I'd say my resolution would be to give NXT a chance again, and dive a little. I've given Raw too many chances. I can't give Raw another chance. It's just too many hours. But stay consistent with SmackDown and stuff like that. And obviously, because we're going to WrestleMania, like I'm going to be a lot more consistently watching WWE, especially now because we're in Rumble season and all that. So, but yeah, my resolution would be for sure to stay on and get with NXT a little more often.
The next thing I had was to give MLW another shot. I know I've been kind of down on MLW, but like I said, I watched that show from last week. It was good. It really was good. Davey Richards versus a Dragon Gate guy named SB Kento, who I had no idea who the hell that guy was. That match was awesome. Really fun. Again, guys, free on YouTube to watch MLW. So that's something I'm going to try to jump back into every week.
Yeah. I think my real resolution should be to check out some of these stuff that you always say to watch, because I usually never do, but I should.
And then the other, I had a thing here too, like figures I would like to collect this year. So I know some of these are kind of, might be a little bit out of the financial ballpark, but I really want that Slaughter LJN. And I know it's super expensive. But the figure's awesome, dude. So that's kind of, I think that might be my new Grail piece is the Sergeant Slaughter LJN.
That's a really good one. Figure. So I think that I, I already have my Grail, which my Grail was that one of 500 Cody because I got lucky enough to like get it, and like you had it too, and you sold it. So, um, I think that for me, my other big Grail piece is the Defining Moments Triple H. But what I really want them to do is I really want them to remake that as an Ultimate, or like they're redoing the Defining Moments, so I'd really love a retread on that. That would be something that I'd really like, but I don't know. It depends. I haven't really thought outside of the box really because I pretty much got all the guys that I want.
That's kind of where I'm at too. The only other stuff I wrote down was I kind of want to put my toes in the water on the Freebird Skaloobs from the UK. I think I'm going to try to pick them up this year. And then the other one I was thinking of, which is a lot more attainable, is the Brooklyn Brawler Classic RA. Whenever he was Knuckleball Schwartz in that Bobby Heenan 2-pack.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're much into the Ruthless and Classic Superstars. I like them, but I've been transitioning whenever I get better when they make better elites or ultimates and I have them in a Ruthless Aggression, I replace them now.
The only other thing I could think of that was kind of attainable was the Dick Worley AWA Remco referee.
Oh, they talk about that on Major Pod all the time.
Really?
Yeah, the Brown Eyed Dick.
I don't understand why the hell they gave him a different. He's got different wrists than the wrestlers. So he's got like almost like a He-Man kind of like Masters of the Universe like bracelets on his arms for some reason. I don't know why the hell that is, but I mean I don't know. I mean I'll probably end up buying it anyway. But I thought it just I was gonna buy it the other night. I had Christmas money left over, and I was kind of like, yeah, I should buy a figure. I haven't bought a figure in a long time, and that was the first thing that came to mind. And I looked it up on eBay, and I could afford it, and I was like, yeah, I should just pull the trigger on this right now. And then I looked at the figure again, and I'm like, I don't fucking even know if I want to buy this right now. So it's kind of like, I do, and I think what's kind of turned me off from that too was that I made custom figures of Brian Hildebrand. And who's the other referee that I made a custom of that I thought was good? It was Curtis, Mark Curtis, and who was the other one? I forget. I made 2 custom referees out of Remco's. So now I'm kind of like, do I really want to buy the Remco referee or not? I don't know if I need it at this point. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Pee Wee Anderson. Pee Wee Anderson and Mark Curtis. I made customs of both those guys.
Oh, and Slick.
And Slick, which is why I didn't put down the Zombie Sailor Slick for most anticipated, because that figure looks really good, but now I don't need it anymore. So it's kind of like, what the hell? Why am I buying a figure of a fake Hasbro of a guy that I don't need that figure anymore?
Right. But yeah, I think that concludes our 22 wrapped and our 20.
Did you have anything that you were hopeful for in 2023?
Oh yeah, I'm hopeful for another really good Triple H Ultimate, like I'm hopeful for like a remake because they did that Ultimate Edition for Triple H. I really like a Ruthless Aggression era Triple H, like a really good one done, because they have some good ones out there, but I really like an Ultimate done because I'm a mark. But
are you talking like in the jean jacket with the black shirt, stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd really like an Outsiders Ultimate Edition. Maybe I want some more WCW characters.
I want
like more Nitro.
Yeah, I want all the tag teams, man. I want freaking, Scott Steiner looking like, Billy Graham. I want Harlem Heat, all that shit.
Yeah, give me a big Papa Pump for sure. If they're gonna do, I mean, like they already said they got Steiners lined up, so give me a big Papa Pump.
Yeah. I put hopeful for a better WWE, as we already talked about. I put hopeful for people to support indie wrestling a little bit more. I put Mike Tenay returning. I'm hopeful for that at some point. You know, I don't have any reason to believe it's going to happen, but I would really love to see Mike Tenay, you know, get back into a major promotion. Is Ronaldo working anywhere?
So Morrow, I don't think Morrow. I mean, I don't know. I could see like if Morrow was working. I don't think he's gonna be working in wrestling. No, I don't.
Yeah,
It would be cool, but I think that his time is come and gone.
Yeah, it could be. Let's see here. What else I got? I've got. I'm hopeful for ROH as developmental.
Very hopeful.
So I'm hopeful to see how that all plays out. Further development of the New Japan Women's Division. I'm hopeful for that. So let's see how that turns out. And hopefully we'll get some more people signed and more people will be able to get some work in over there.
Yeah, I would be hopeful for that too.
Yeah, hopeful for Sasha Banks, man. I don't know where she's going to end up, if she's going to be, you know, signed to AEW or signed to New Japan or what it is. But I'm hopeful to see how that plays out because I think she's a hell of a good talent, and hopefully, you know, it'll be a good fit no matter where she's at.
Yeah, I have a feeling she's going to be on that January 4th show. Hopefully she is.
Yeah. Then the last one I had was just NXT Europe. I know they're going to restart. You know, they closed NXT UK. They're gonna open NXT Europe. I don't know what the timeline is for that, but I'm hopeful that we're going to get a lot more information on that, and maybe even get an announcement that they're going to reopen shop somewhere in Europe, you know, during 2023.
Yeah, that is interesting because they've been wanting to do this for years, and it sounds like they're finally getting to it. But yeah, I'm interested to see what they do.
There's a lot of people that got cut loose too that lost their contracts that are going to end up getting re-signed. Because a lot of the people in NXT right now are like UK talents. So I think a lot of them will end up going there and being kind of like the faces you recognize, you know, on NXT Europe once they restart. But there's a lot of talent out there, man. There's a lot of people out there that are going to get re-signed that were in NXT UK, and a lot more European talent that I'm really looking forward to seeing on like a weekly show or even a monthly show.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to see that too because I totally forgot a lot of those people got cut.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure, definitely excited to see what they do with it because I know they wanted to branch out. Like they wanted one in India, they wanted one in Japan, like they wanted it to be everywhere. But yeah, if you don't,
that's all I got. That's all I had for the hopefuls for next year.
Awesome. Well, if you don't got anything else, we'll head out of town.
Yeah, that's all I got, man. I appreciate the opportunity to be here as always. Always fun, you know, talking shop. But yeah, have a great New Year's. You and Allison have a great New Year's. And I'm sure we'll talk soon.
For sure. Yeah. Thanks for coming on, and make sure you check us out on Twitter at _Podski, Instagram _Podski, and on Facebook at the Podski with John Baker. And be sure to check out our holiday award show from last week. It's doing pretty good numbers so far, and make sure you check all that out too because we were in for a long one, and that was a really fun show and put a lot of time and effort into that thing. So, but yeah, make sure you check it out. That way, all of this will make a lot more sense, and let us know what your predictions are for 2023. And we'll see you next time on the Podski.